Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the February 24th, 2021 Pittsburgh Board of Public Education and Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Units virtual legislative meeting. Would everyone please rise so that we can salute the flag? I pledge
allegiance
to the flag
flag
of the
of
United States of America
America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation
one
under
nation,
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you, everyone. Before we begin today's meeting, Ms. Monica Jenkins will read a testimony from Ms. Tracy Mosaico, who was speaker number 78 from our public hearing on Monday, February 22nd. Ms. Mosaico's testimony was inadvertently omitted from the public hearing. Ms. Jenkins?
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. My name is Tracy Mosaico, parent of 2 PPS students. I have a daughter who attends Brashear High School and a son who attends Pioneer Education Center. The slogan that refuses to leave my head and pains me to my core is PPS's infamous "No Child Left Behind." What happened to that? Where is the concern for our students? My daughter has a lifetime of good grades, involved in sports, and no mental health concerns up until this past year. I have seen my daughter struggle academically, mentally, and physically. This is taking a toll on these children that should absolutely be. Now, for children like my son, Timmy, and all of the other disabled students in this district, respectfully, anyone who continues to play a hand in keeping their schools closed, knowingly adding to their regression, should be ashamed of themselves. What has been done to these children is nothing to hang your hats on. Since last March, my child has been left behind. My child has been failed by PPS. For anyone who has never stepped foot into Pioneer Education Center, when you walk those 2 halls, you will not see children sitting at desks, working with pencils and paper. These students will be seen in the hallways, receiving their daily physical therapy and occupational therapy, working on their daily fine and gross motor skills. My son is soon to be 12. My son has never been able to hold a pencil in his life. He can't go to the bathroom on his own or dress himself. He cannot even eat or drink by mouth. He eats through a tube placed into his stomach. You will see the ADL teacher working with students using hand-over-hand instruction to use a can opener, to stir a bowl, to make a bed, or to learn other activities. Teachers and paras working one-on-one with students using bins that are filled with each student's goals specific to that child. My son, along with hundreds, if not thousands of other PPS students, simply cannot receive the education they are entitled to remotely. He has not received his therapies in a year, an entire year. This is not okay. These children matter. Let's start acting like it. School for our children, like my son Timmy, is needed to sustain their quality of life. This is not a game. It is time to think of what is needed and not wanted. Please stop benefiting teachers at the expense of the students. We are ready to go back. Pioneer staff has always went above and beyond to keep our students and staff safe, but since the pandemic have worked hard to come up with a wonderful COVID-19 safety plan. I beg of you to hear our voices and do what is right. No more pushbacks. Open PPS April 6th. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Appreciate it very much. All right, we're going to begin today with the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit. Mr. Weiss, could we please have a roll call?
Mr. Carter,
Here.
Ms. Edwards,
Here.
Ms. Falls,
Present.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mrs. Harbin,
Here.
Mrs. Kennedy,
Present.
Ms. Salvatore,
Here.
Mr. Dean, Mr. Dean, Ms. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Edine is joining the meeting now.
Oh, is he? Okay. I'll mark him present and we'll after. All present, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you so much, Mr. Weiss. Would board members please turn to the minutes from January 27th, 2021? Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions? All right, hearing none, thank you. I'd like to have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the January 27th Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Units meeting.
So moved.
That's
Second.
Ms. Kennedy and Ms. Edwards. Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Minutes are approved. There are no items for the committee report on education for the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit this month. The committee report on business finance that includes agenda items 25.01 through 26.02 is before you. Are there any questions or comments that were not answered at agenda review? All right, hearing no further questions or comments, could I please have a motion and a second for a roll call vote, please?
Terry,
moved.
so moved.
Ms. Kennedy,
Ms. Vaughn.
Second.
Ms. Edwards, because I really didn't hear the other voice. All right,
Okay,
thank you. Mr. Weiss, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Carter, Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes.
Ms. Falls,
yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mrs. Harbin,
Yes.
Mrs. Kennedy,
Yes.
Ms. Delafaro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean. Yes. Ms. Wilson,
Yes,
unanimous vote. 0.
thank you, Mr. Weiss. Item 2801 is the Pittsburgh Mount Oliver Intermediate Unit's financial and travel report for January. Are there any questions or comments on these reports? All right, thank you. Hearing none, then I would like at this time to have a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Sounded like Ms. Falls and then Mrs. Kennedy.
Yep.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Thank you so much. Then this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Baird. All right, we'd like to call the February 24th virtual meeting of the Pittsburgh Public Schools to order. Mr. Weiss, could we please have a roll call?
Carter,
Here.
Ms. Edwards,
Here.
Ms. Falls,
Present.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mrs. Harbin,
Here.
Mrs. Kennedy,
Present.
Delafaro,
Here.
Mr. Dean. Here. Ms. Wilson,
Here.
all members present.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. At this time, I'd like to ask Ms. Edwards to share our core beliefs and commitments.
The core beliefs and commitments of the Pittsburgh Board of Education. We will educate all children to their highest level of academic achievement. We will provide a safe and orderly environment for all students and employees. We will provide efficient and effective support for all students, families, teachers, and administrators. We will distribute resources in an efficient and equitable manner to address the needs of all students to the maximum extent feasible. We will improve public confidence and encourage strong parent community engagement in the district as ordered by the Pittsburgh Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Edwards. Okay, at this time, would the board members please turn to the minutes? Today, we'll be approving the minutes for the January 27th, 2021 legislative session and the February 2nd, 2021 special legislative session. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions to these minutes? Okay, thank you. Hearing none, then I'd like to have a motion and a second to approve both sets of minutes.
So moved, Terry. Second, Devin.
Okay, Ms. Kennedy and Ms. Teleferro. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? All right, thank you. Then the minutes stand approved. At this time, I'd like to read the executive session statement. In addition to executive sessions announced at the legislative meeting of January 27, 2021, the board met virtually in executive sessions on February 17th, 19th, and immediately before this legislative meeting to discuss various personnel matters that may include, but are not limited to, administrative vacancies and positions open and closed. The board does not vote at executive sessions. The committee report on education is before you, submitted by myself, Ms. Sylvia Wilson, chairperson, and my committee. The report includes agenda items 5.01 through 8.08. There were no items pulled for further discussion at agenda review. However, at this time, I'd like to call on Ms. Teleferro.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I would like to make a motion to bring back an item that was tabled at last month's meeting. And that item is the City Span Technologies, Inc.
Could I have a second to her motion, please?
Second.
Okay, thank you. So the motion to bring back a tabled item was made by Ms. Teleferro, and it has been seconded by Ms. Edwards. All right, could we have some discussion at this time? Or an explanation or something here?
Thank you so much, Ms. Wilson.
Okay, I was going to say, Ms. Jones, I think we're going to be on you here today. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to actually just have Ms. Melanie Claxton to give a brief statement on what this item is.
Certainly, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Melanie Claxton, coordinator of out of school time for the district. And so this contract is basically an opportunity for us to continue working with City Span as a way to refine our data sharing process to make sure that it is secure and that we're able to get data in front of those that are currently serving our students, as well as for us to be able to collect information on kind of the where, how, and when of services being offered by students to students in the district.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, then hearing none, then I think that we could just go ahead and have a vote. Mr. Weiss.
Is the vote on untabling this item, if it is approved, it'll become part of the education report. Mr. Carter?
I abstain.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Ms. Falls?
Yes, adding that the additions that we talked about in executive session will be completed.
That's so noted. I have that, and Ms. Jones has it as well. Mr.
Thank you,
Gallagher?
sir.
Mr. Gallagher?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Harbin?
No.
Mrs. Kennedy?
No.
Stella Farrow?
Yes.
Drew Dean?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, the matter is untabled 6-1. So that is a part of the education report that the board will vote on next.
All right, thank you. Ms. Jenkins, I understand that you have some.
Point of information.
Oh, yes, Mr. Carter.
What agenda item number will that be in the education report?
I would suggest it be placed at the foot of the education report, whatever that next number would be.
That would be item 8.09.
Right.
Mr. Carter, you have that?
Yes, thank you.
Certainly. Okay, Ms. Jenkins.
Yes, we'd like to pull items 5.05 and 8.07. We do still intend to submit a proposal with the letters of support in lieu of an MOU, but we'd like to pull these two items for today. We'd also like to make a change to item 8.01 to change the absolute date from March 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. That is all, Ms. Wilson.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone have a question? Yes, Ms. Kennedy?
Thank you. Okay, the first item that was pulled was 5.06, and what was the second item?
I'm sorry, 5.05 and 8.07.
505 and 8.07, correct?
That's
Okay,
correct.
thank you. All right, just want to make sure I know. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments before we move forward? All right, thank you.
I have a question.
I heard her voice. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry, Ms. Wilson. So item 6.07 is not impacted by pulling 5.08 and 8.07?
We will still leave it, but we, as Ms. Jenkins said, we still plan on submitting the grant, and we are still fundraising for this project no matter what. So the grant was one option, and we also are still considering, we are still fundraising for this project.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kennedy, is your hand up again or just never came down?
No, it's up again because in response
Okay.
to that. So
Okay.
you're still fundraising for it, but the operating period is to start on March 1. How are we paying for this until we raise the funds? For this 6.07?
Yep,
the
so
gym
it is a
group.
matching grant, and we still can work through, we still have to work through how all this will work. And so we still would like to have those discussions and moving forward. However, we will not spend one dime. We will not spend one dime until everything is in place, and hopefully in that grant coming back as part of that, but we will not spend one dime.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, then at this time, I'd like to have a motion and a second to approve the Education Committee report.
So moved. Devin.
Second,
Okay, the motion was made by Ms. Telefaro and seconded by Ms. Falls. Mr. Weiss, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Carter,
Yes, on the report as a whole, and I think I'm still going to say no on item 8.09. Thank you.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes,
Ms. Falls,
yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mrs. Harvin,
Yes on the report as a whole, no on 8.09.
Mrs. Kennedy,
Yes, on the report as a whole, no on 8.09.
Ms. Telefaro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Report's approved 9-0, 809 is approved 6-3.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. We're now going to move on to the committee report on business and finance that is before you, submitted by Mr. Kevin Carter, the chairperson, and his committee. The report includes items 10.01 through 12.03. There were no items that were pulled for further discussion and agenda review. Are there any questions or comments on the committee report on business and finance that were not answered at the time of agenda review? All right, thank you. Hearing none, then could I please have a motion and a second to approve the committee report on business and finance?
Terry, so moved.
Second, Ms. Falls.
Okay, so Ms. Kennedy made the motion, Ms. Falls seconded. Mr. Weiss, could we please have a roll call vote?
Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes.
Ms. Falls,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mrs. Harbin,
yes,
Mrs. Kennedy,
yes,
Salafaro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes,
Orders approved 9-0.
thank you so much, Mr. Weiss. We're now going to move to the Human Resources Report, item 13.01, including addendums A and B, which have been submitted by Mr. Bill Gallagher, chairperson, and his committee. Are there any questions or comments on this report?
Ms. Wilson, Ms. Falls?
Yes, yes.
I would just like to make a note of the resignation or retirement. I'm not sure which it was for Ms. Herman. Is it the resignation? Retirement of Ms. Herman. I would just like to say that I truly have appreciated working with her, and I have been really, really, really educated in regards to the meetings that I've attended and learned much more about special education, since that truly was not one of the things that I dealt with in high school, but wasn't so concentrated on. And I really have learned an awful lot of knowledge, both on the state and local levels from Ms. Herman. And I do wish her well on her next journey and thank her for her service to the Pittsburgh Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Falls. All right, no further questions or comments? Not seeing any hands raised. So then I'm going to now ask for a motion and a second to approve the Human Resources Report.
So moved.
Ms. Falls
second, Terry,
and Ms. Kennedy. Mr. Weiss, could we have a roll call vote on the Human Resources Report and addendum A and B?
Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Edwards,
Yes.
Ms. Falls,
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher,
Yes.
Mrs. Harbin,
yes,
Mrs. Kennedy,
yes,
Ms. Salafaro,
Yes.
Mr. Dean,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes,
Orders approved unanimously.
thank you. Thank you so much. Because of the end of the year procedures, we do not receive financial or controller reports in January or February. The board will receive reports for December, January, and February at the March 24th, 2021 legislative meeting. We are now going to move to item 16.03, the EBE report for February 2021, which is before you this afternoon. Are there any questions or comments on this report? All right, well, thank you. Hearing none, we're going to move on. At this time, I'm going to call on Mr. Weiss, who has a statement to read.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. This was released to the media on February 18th and is on the website. Due to Governor Wolf's declaration of emergency, candidates for the office of school director in the 2021 primary election will file their statement of financial interest as required by the election code for the Ethics Act at the Board of Education building located at 341 South Belfield Avenue in Oakland. Forms can be dropped off in the lobby between 9:00 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. weekdays from March 1 through March 9, 2021. No forms will be accepted before 9:00 a.m. or after 3:30 p.m. on those days. Documents should be handed to the school district police officer on duty. The candidate will be given a receipt and the form will be time stamped The forms will be on file in the law department in the office of the Assistant Secretary as required by law. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weiss. At this time, I'm going to call on call on Dr. Hamlet, who has something for us.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson, and good evening. So thank you for taking the time tonight to join our meeting. It is very important to me personally and professionally to let our families know that we are not only hearing you, but we are listening to you as well. We know firsthand how it can be very confusing and frustrating for many of our families to understand and stay up to date with all of the ever-moving, ever-changing items in Pittsburgh Public Schools. This week, we publicly confirmed our commitment to bring back students based on new support categories beginning April 6th. Beginning this week, families will learn their students' support category. While the safe return of students and staff for in-person instruction remains a top priority, as the second largest district in the Commonwealth, right behind Philadelphia, we are in constant state of evaluation and evolution to ensure that we are acting in the best interest of our students. While most of the district budget is expended on schools, specifically staff and benefits, we are currently considering multiple options to address the fiscal challenges of the district. The adjusted 2021 general fund budget of $673 million came with an operating deficit of $39.4 million. While the approved 2021 general fund budget included reductions through the closure of vacant central office positions and reductions in contracted services, a very important point to note is when the millage increase proposal was rejected, it instantly moved the district out of compliance with the board's minimum 5% fund balance requirement. This chain of reaction expedited the need to reduce our expenditures by leveraging one-time cost savings and reductions in our workforce and district footprint. There was zero intent, and I repeat, there was zero intent to blindside the community. Now I'll say that one more time. There was never an intent to blindside the community. It is important to understand that we will never close schools without the community input and direction. Not only because PA school code requires that we get input before any closures take place, but because we believe this input is critical. It's a critical linchpin to our planning. We are still operating under a crisis due to the pandemic, and as such, we will set our precedent to significantly increase our overall communications to our district families and to the community at large. Beginning March 4th, we will begin a series of city schools budget engagement sessions for the public, beginning with our next parent advisory committee. The discussion will be streamed live on the district's Facebook page and website. The engagement session will follow a budget update presentation that will be provided to our board next Monday. We are strong believers in stewardship and community transparency. I'm personally inviting families in the community to attend one of our upcoming budget engagement sessions. And as a general reminder, all of our board meetings are public meetings, and every month we invite the community to air their questions, concerns, and comments at the board's public hearings. Thank you again for your attention, support, and expressed concerns. We can all agree that when we put our students first, we all win. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hamlet. All right, we are now in the announcement phase, and I'd like to call on Ms. Teleferro first.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I just wanted to share a few things. This month was a busy month in District 2, in our District 2 schools. First, I'd like to thank the Fulton PTA group and their invited me to their PSCC meeting last week, just to be able to talk about and hear concerns regarding the presentation on potential school closures, that including Fulton. So it was just a good time to be able to hear their concerns, to have some conversation, and just really talk about solutions, or talk about the vision for what they have for their school and for their children. And so I just want to thank them for inviting me. I also got to spend this morning again with Fulton students for their Black History celebration, which was an amazing time. Dr. Hamlet spoke, State Representative Ed Gainey also spoke, whose son goes to Fulton. And so it was a wonderful time as well. I got to speak to the third grade, one of the third grade classes this morning about my Black history. So it was just an honor to be able to share with them about what I do here on the school board, what I do also in my professional career at the Midwife Center, and just kind of the things that I've done or imagined that I would do, or didn't imagine that I would do in my life and where I am now. So it was just an honor to be able to talk with them. And they had some of the most amazing questions. Actually, one of my favorite questions, one of the students asked how I handle dealing with difficult decisions on the school board. And so I had to think about that one myself, because I'm still trying to figure out how to handle making difficult decisions on this school board. But it was definitely an honor to be with those students this morning. And then last week, I got to spend some time with some 7th and 8th graders at Pittsburgh Sunnyside, which was really a great opportunity to again share about my life and my Black history. And so I was grateful to be with them as well. So it's wonderful to be able to engage in this virtual setting. It's the first time that I really got the chance to even just see how things are functioning or operating in this remote learning period that we are in. And so, I know oftentimes it's a struggle for many students, but it also, a lot of our students have been completely engaged and interactive, and their teachers are doing an amazing job trying to keep them engaged and keep them, in a space where they can learn and grow. So that's it for me, but I'm just really grateful that I had the opportunity to spend time in front of our students this month. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Ms. Telefaro. Mrs. Kennedy.
Thank you. And I also thank you, Ms. Wilson, and thank you, Ms. Telefaro, for recognizing the meeting with your constituents at Fulton. I actually had a meeting last week. We got out of our agenda review early, so I spent an hour and a half after that with the Minadeo PSCC, addressing a lot of questions, listening to concerns about the proposal to turn them from a pre-K to 5 to a 6 to 8. And I appreciate everybody who participated. I know that it was not advertised far in advance, because we didn't know for sure I was going to be able to attend the meeting. So I appreciate, and some of you are still trying to contact me. And for those of you who are wondering why Terry hasn't replied, I am really backed up in my email, which I look at as a good thing, because that means a lot of people are contacting me with their opinions. It's just hard because I would like to reply sooner, but it's been really busy, time management. I also have been hearing from folks at other parts of my district, so it's not just Minadeo. Everybody has their concerns, whether it's school closings, whether it's to return to school or other stuff. But I do have one shout out, and again goes to Minadeo. For folks who may not know, there's a long-standing tradition at Minadeo to have a talent show every February in honor of John Minadeo's birthday, which is in February. And while the talent show did not occur and will not occur before the end of this month, they are continuing the tradition with the PTO is hosting a virtual talent show and is solicited for folks to send their videos and so forth. So I think it's a wonderful way to keep a tradition going without skipping a beat. I know a lot of schools have a lot of traditions, and that's very hard to keep going in the virtual environment. So I'm very proud that this long-standing talent show is not going to skip a year like other events in various schools did. So keep watch of the Minadeo PTO website or Facebook group, and I'm sure Minadeo School will also post stuff, and hopefully it'll get on district social media. And to my constituents, whether you're students, families, staff that live in other parts of my district or go to other schools, let me know if there's a special event you want us to highlight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. All right, at this time we have Ms. Falls.
Miss Falls, the announcement queen, is here to generate this information from District 7 and some others. Okay, first thing I do want the public to be aware of the activities that occurred from CTE this month, because once again, I think it is a point that is going to bring students back to Pittsburgh Public Schools, and we can only do this if the information gets out to the public. So February 1st, students were giving a virtual information from Allegheny General and CCAC. It was a wonderful experience for the students. On February 2nd, there was a proclamation from City Council declaring February the CTE month. And humbly enough, it was also a Cindy Falls Day in Pittsburgh, which was very exciting for me. The first time ever in my life. I've attended many, but it's never been me. So I thank them. February 10th was CTE, Pharmacy Exposure to University of Pittsburgh. This is a new part of the Career and Technical Education program. It was very enlightening. Thank you to the University of Pittsburgh. CTE Teacher Appreciation Day. What a fun event that was. Miss Mike, the Secretary of Education, Ortega, Secretary of CTE Education, Dr. Lee Burkett, Dr. Hamlet, myself, who read a poem that was written specifically for the CTE teachers from my cousin, was read. And of course, the PFT president, Nina Exposito Bagaitis, and others. And all of the teachers presented their programs and et cetera. And there were many prizes given to the students. So it was a wonderful, yet another, I'm sorry, not the students at this point, but it was a wonderful event that really showed the teachers and programs appreciation. CTE Expo, that's where the ninth graders were exposed to the variety of CTE programs, vendors, prizes. Again, we hope to bring in more students into the program, and I think that's going to be inevitable. And the last thing on CTE that I do want to report is on the 26th, it's Building Trades Day. And this, I think we really need to do more of. The trades are going to describe for the students the benefits of their membership, apprenticeships, how to apply, gender diversity, CTE students, and any other high school student who might be interested. So I think we need to do more. We need more plumbers, electricians, and it's carpenters. I mean, we need all these folks here in Pittsburgh. We all know that we're hurting for these folks. Pittsburgh Arlington, on the 17th, they had a Black History scavenger hunt where a lot of learning took place on Black History. Tomorrow, they are going to have their perfect attendance, honors to their students, virtual. They're also going to perform spoken words presented with some insight into Black history. And one of the things that's really, really exciting to me is that Pittsburgh Arlington has partnered with the Urban Garden that's across the street from them. And they are having their first Garden 101, which is going to be held on March 9th at 5 o'clock. And they want people to sign up because they want to bring the students kits so that they can participate virtually with this garden event that will be happening. And this is a very nice partnership that had occurred between Arlington and this urban farm. So again, thank you very much. We really appreciate all the partners for that. Carrick High School, PBIS Tier 2 has begun. They are the only high school in the city who has done that, focusing a lot of their professional development on mental health of the students and the staff. Attendance has been better at this point this year than it was last year. Fine to be noted. They have 46 students from across all 4 grade levels who were recognized as Students of the Month for exhibiting such pride and promptness and respect and engaging. And they have definitely given the students the recognition that they deserve. 115 students are now eligible for membership in the National Honor Society from grades 10 through 12. And of course, as you know, they must have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. The National Honor Society, and I really want to be happy about this and smile. They have been partnering with the Pittsburgh Concord Elementary students a few times a month engaging in games and activities, and they are grades 3 through 5, and of course their next big event that they're going to be doing with them is the St. Patrick's Day. So I'm very happy to hear that because I always had a good partnership with Concord in regards to Pittsburgh Carrick High School. So I'm glad to hear that. Concord in itself, in January, they had a snowman contest, up to which the Jones family won. And of course, Black History Month in February. Pittsburgh Concord had family highlights, and they also had a video that can be found on their Facebook page. Please, if you have a chance, look at that video. It is an awesome video for grades K through 2, and it's just right on target. They've had a school-wide project. They called it the Month of Sharing the Love. And they had a portable, removable blessing box that they have put up in front of the school. And it has been put a lot of non-perishable items that a great deal has been donated by the Dollar General store, where they put out bins, and it didn't have to go through us because the people bought the stuff in the store, put it in the bins, and then the bins came to the school. And it is continuously filled and being refilled. And they hope to use that box in the summer for library, or not library books, for books that can be used by kids and replenished and etc. They had what was called a Fit February, and I actually participated in this. It was families and staff who did videos for workout, and so the families who submitted are in a contest for a Walmart gift card, which it was really kind of neat. And again, I told you about their relationship with Pittsburgh Carrick. Online Academy, those seniors will be meeting with the Pittsburgh Promise to talk about post-secondary planning and Promise eligibility. Really important for those kids on the online. And the POA elementary students, they're going to be participating in the American Cross Pillow Project. And their students also have the opportunity to participate in many upcoming field trips that will be virtually held. So thank you to them as well. And then last, but certainly not least, went in alphabetical order, Pittsburgh Phillips, they held an art contest as well as an essay for Black History Month. And it was designated that they write about or draw someone that was important to them, meaning in the Black history field. Winners were to select a book written by a Black author or a Black history person, and that those were prizes. The PTO created a YouTube channel to feature reading out loud of parents and staff about books about Black history, and we featured stories of Pittsburgh Black history each week in their morning meetings. They also had a survey that they sent out to parents to gain on how the distant learning is going, and they had a 85% response from their parents, and the majority went from fair, good, or excellent. And of course, this was reviewed with the principal as well as the teachers. And also, they have implemented a positive school culture virtually, that weekly school-wide morning meetings, virtually award assemblies. They're sending students of the month certificates. They're having social emotional learning lessons, school-wide PBS incentives, and are striving to provide some normalcy and positivity for every student that attends Phillips. And I just wanted to also add, I've been participating in the Mindful Cafe, which has been held by Dr. Somerville, Flynn Somerville, Flynn, I forget which way that goes. But anyways, I participated this morning and I was on with second graders from the West Liberty School, and I had a ball. And I also just want to conclude by saying that I have had the opportunity and the blessing to Zoom with 5 schools, and I continue to do many, many more. And as always, I would like to thank the military past, present, and future for their service and their dedication. And that's my report. And I'm proud because I do believe that people think that our teachers and our students aren't working. And I'm here to say they are. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Ms. Falls. All right, Mr. Gallagher.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Just a quick Reader's Digest. Shout out to the Brookline Elementary and Carmel schools parents group. It invited me to answer questions. I was honored to spend the time with them and to see the outstanding work that Mr. Votter at Brookline and Miss Alexa Tolarski Jones is doing at Carmel. It was really, really refreshing to spend time with people that are invested in their community and to see the great work that they're doing. I mean, the Black History activities, Black History Month activities that were at both schools were phenomenal, and it was just really, really exciting to see. And it's also exciting to see the amount of parent input that we can receive. And as long as we keep our ears open and show people respect, I think we're on the right track. And just a quick thing to people out there listening. Remember, on a school board, you have 3 retired teachers, you have parents, you have activists, you have people that are involved in looking out for the best interests of the children. And that's what we're here for. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. All right, I don't see any other hands up for announcements. So at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion and a second to adjourn our meeting this evening.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, that sounded like Ms. Falls and Ms. Kennedy.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
Ms. Falls.
Okay, all in favor of adjourning tonight's meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone want to keep the meeting going?
Well, if you have something you want to do.
Obviously not. All right, thank you. Ayes have it. The meeting is adjourned. We'll see you next month.